Yeah. They used to have me like, I don't know, you know what carols are? Like it's like a chair with 3 walls on it. Or, no, sorry, a desk with like 3 walls like that, right? It's like that. And they used to make me sit in one of those in the back of class. That was like my seat, so I couldn't disturb everyone else's learning. And then they made it, and then I still disturbed other children's learning. So they put cardboard to make the walls higher, and then they cut out a little slit where I could see the board, just like, and I could learn for myself. And then like that really happened for like a full semester. It's like, get in your little box. I'm like, okay. Thanks, guys. I'm getting older, trying to dress like an adult. Is it working? Yeah. No. It's a nice nighttime treat for you, is it? Yeah. Thanks. You're the white guy the last comic was talking about the entire time. This guy, that can't go in the tape. Yeah. I'm getting older, and it's fine. I'm 31. I'm not old. I know that. But I am running out of time. I'm running out of time to do cool stuff. I know that. Right? I got about 9 years left to get my first motorcycle, and it's just weird. Right? You can't get your first motorcycle when you're 40. You can't. Not your first one. It's like, I'm bad to the bone. It's like, you're running errands, sir. You're picking up vitamins, most likely. Right? You can't be bad to the bone if you have osteoporosis. You just have bad bones. That's how that works. I'm never going to get a tattoo. And I know to look at my haircut. You're like, that guy's got an anchor somewhere. No anchor. Not even one anchor. So, yeah. I'm never going to get a tattoo because you cannot get your first tattoo post 30. You can't get your first one post 30. Who are you rebelling against? Your parents? They barely remember who you are. Get over it at this point. What's your first tattoo post 30 going to look like? What's it going to represent? How you can't eat gluten anymore? It's a wheat germ. It's pretty badass. It's where I'm at in life, so can't eat bread as much as I would like. I'm not against tattoos. I just could never decide what to get, Like my buddy's got a koi fish on his arm. I was like, why do you have orange scales on your forearm? He's like, well, I went to Hawaii once. I'd like to preserve my memory of that trip. I was like, oh, I know a place where you can get a camera. Are we cavemen now? We're drawing memories on our skin? Is that where we're at? I met a guy who's he's 32 years old, never tried alcohol once. He's never tried alcohol once. Let me tell you something. If you've never tried alcohol once, you're a psychopath, and I'll never hang out with you. You're this close to murdering everybody. I understand if you don't like it and you've tried it. I get that, but to never try it, weird. I asked the guy, I was like, why haven't you tried drinking once? And he goes, oh, Graham, I don't need to drink because I already know who I am. I was like, oh, well, I just found out who you are, and you need to drink. I used to always be when I would always ask musicians well, what kind of music is your band? And they'd always get pissed off and be like, I don't know, man. And I'd be like, well, these guys are douches. Why don't they just say they play rock and roll or something? And now when people ask me what describe your comedy, I'm like, I don't know. I have no I guess I've been reviewed as being sarcastic. I'm not overly political. I don't think I'm observational. I really have no idea how to describe. I don't even know how you would get laid sober. I have no idea. I have no idea how that works.
I can't imagine going up to a woman sober at a bar. I have no idea. What would you say? Sober? Like, excuse me, miss. Hello. You don't know me. I'm going to start telling you my thoughts. And, well, I would hope that you let me inside you at some point. Yeah. I'll be over here waiting your decision. So, just let me know. Okay? Grease the wheels a bit. I got a girlfriend now. But, you know, I was single for a while. And I when you're single, you just don't have sober sex. You don't have sober sex, and you forget what it's like. It's weird. Yeah. First time I had sex with my girlfriend, I was like, why are you staring into my eyes? It's disgusting. Turn around like an adult. Okay? Right? I broke both my arms recently. I fell off my bicycle. I had 2 slings for 6 weeks. That's true. I had 2 slings for 6 weeks. And they don't tell you how to live your life at the hospital. They just give you 2 slings. So, like, it's going to be rough out there. So, you have 2 slings now. I was sitting in the ER, just like wondering to myself, like, how long do you have to date somebody before you can ask them to wipe your ass? How long is it? It's not 5 months, I learned that. I learned that day. That is not enough time for it to be okay. Yeah, you need a little longer for it to be okay the next day. You know? Yeah, just learned that. It's weird. It's fun being a comedian. I get to travel a bunch. I was in Vancouver, and I went to go see their nude beach there. I had nothing to do during the day, you know, so I went to go see the nude beach. And let me tell you something. You cannot have a good nude beach if it's always fall in your city. Yeah. First guy I saw was wearing a sweater and no pants. That is a true story. I was like, what are we doing here, sir? You just look like a forgetful guy. So, what is the point of all this? I had never been to a nude beach. I didn't know what to expect. I expected it to be an average cross-section of society. Like there'd be like some hot chicks somewhere, you know, in some corner. No, all old balls. As far as the eye can see, old balls. I don't know what my old man ball quota is for a day, but I was way over that quota, whatever that is. I was at least 13 balls over that day. Yeah. Yeah. The only young, in-shape people I saw were these 2 Asian guys with huge dicks. Yeah. And I think they're only there to fight racism, you know? Because it was too cold to be that naked, quite frankly. Comedy's good. It is good. You know, it's fun. You get to do what you want. You know, I'm not famous yet, so I don't have the biggest apartment. You know, I live in a 250 square foot apartment. Yeah, 250 square foot apartment. Okay. And if you don't understand what square footage means, my microwave is my bedroom clock. Okay? Yeah. 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 Every night before I go to bed, I just set my alarm for 8 hours. Just. It's very calming. It is. It is. You know? And ding, and I wake up refreshed. I do. I do. It's great. Yeah. But with leg cancer, so it's a give and take. It's a give and take. It's a give and take. Yeah. It's fun. It's good to have a girlfriend. It is, because it's harder to be single. I think if you're a man than a woman, I think it's harder. So one of the few things that makes it harder to be a man, because we don't get to decide when we get laid. It's not up to us. We just sort of sit there, like, hey, will you? No. Hey. Huh? Just wait here, I guess. You know, we don't get to decide. You know, it's not, and because ladies, you're just as horny as we are. You are, but you have to be turned on first, and then you're horny. You have to be turned on, and then you're horny. I'm ready for this right now. I'm always ready, and it's exhausting. It is exhausting. I can't wait till I'm 90 and all I care about is peanuts. Just go to the store and get them. They're salty and delicious. I don't have to panic and where I'm going to get peanuts again. They're at the store. So. Because guys we start doing weird stuff when we haven't got laid in a while. We start doing getting real weird. Like I would get off the subway, then a hawker will get on. Just get back on, you know? I don't even know the subway system that well. I'd be that cavalier with my day. You know? Start getting weird. It's harder on a guy because we don't get to choose. Ladies, you get to choose. If you wanna get laid, all you have to do is put on like a cleavagey shirt, you know, and then walk outside. Someone's gonna have you. Someone's gonna take that down, you know. By the end of the day, probably, in all honesty, right? Yeah. Guys don't get to choose. Well, some guys get to choose, you know, but they're rapists. So, you know, that's wrong. That's wrong, right, guys? Yeah. That is wrong. We all learned something here today, so it's pretty important.
Well, the great thing about comedy is you can say whatever you want. It's one of you can really be uncensored, and people hate it. People hate it when that you can say whatever you want, and you can say things that people would never say on the news because they have to deal with sponsors or whatever, or so I don't know. Why do I say it? Is because you watch the news and it's ridiculous. It's completely ridiculous. What happens, and why not make fun of it? Why not make fun of those people and make sure that people don't forget what's going on? Because people will sit, you know, people they watch the news and then it immediately goes to the background of their brain and they worry about what kind of milk they're gonna get. Should I get soy milk? Whatever, blah blah blah.
I'm at an interesting age. Everyone's getting married. Like all my friends are getting married, you know. And no one's having like regular weddings anymore. No one's having like regular weddings. Everyone like where they go, well, why don't you just come to some building in our neighborhood and I'll get you drunk and I'll feed you. That doesn't happen anymore. Everyone has weekend excursions, weekend getaway weddings where they go, why don't you fly to someplace, put yourself up in a hotel, and then give me a present. I don't know if you know my budget. I tell dick jokes in like a burlesque theater. So why don't you go fuck yourself and your dumb wife? How about that? How about that? Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I like being Canadian. It's fun. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. You know, go down there, travel. You know, had my first poutine in quite some time, guys. Yeah, it was great. Right? Yeah. Followed by my first diarrhea in quite some time. It's a poop joke. That is a straight up poop joke. No. No. Yeah, it's gross. Well, I don't know why we eat it, but we do. Yeah, it's good to be. It's good to be here. Hey, we're less racist than in America. We're a little racist, but we're definitely less racist. Like they have a, they put it into legislation. They put racist stuff in like legislation. Like in Arizona, they have a law. And I swear this is true. If you look illegal, the cops can pull you over. Yeah, if you look illegal, that is true. You can look that up. Yeah, and here's how I can prove that it's racial profiling. Okay, because you couldn't pass that law to keep illegal Canadians out of America. What do we look like? Like, well, that guy's wearing a lot of flannel. He's probably an illegal Canadian piece of crap. That guy's wearing a jean jacket and jean pants. How would they find us? Build a hockey rink, see who shows up? You'd have to line all the suspects up against a wall and then start pushing them individually. Start pushing them. That would be the test, right? All the Americans, they'd be like, screw you for pushing me. And the one guy would be like, sorry. It's like, Canadian. We got one. Yep. Yep. My friend doesn't have a lot of money. My friend doesn't have a lot of money, but he smokes like a pack of cigarettes a day, right? It's expensive. My friend's like, why doesn't he quit? What? It's so expensive. I was like, yeah, because he's addicted. It's clinically proven that smoking cigarettes is just as addictive as heroin. But you would never say that to a heroin addict. You'd be like, hey, Stinky Steve, why don't you quit heroin? So expensive. What's he gonna be like? Oh yeah, thanks for mentioning that. Actually, it's funny you say that. I was just running my finances through Quicken, and yeah, see this pie chart is actually heavily skewed towards heroin. It's almost all heroin. It's a small sliver for food, rest crippling heroin addiction. So thank you, friend, for that sound financial advice. I think the best thing about having a girlfriend right now is I'm off the streets. You know, it's great. You know, because I'm super scared. Like I'm super scared of herpes. Super scared of herpes. It's something like 3 out of every 2 people have herpes. Like whatever that number is, it's way higher than where it needed to be at. If you didn't laugh at that, it's because you have herpes. So, I'll leave on this. I was, this is a weird story, but you know, it's you know, so the younger gentlemen in the audience can learn from my mistakes. You know, I was making love to my ex-girlfriend, and she started to cry in the middle of it. She started to cry. Okay, and I learned something that day is I don't know what the right thing to do is in that scenario. I don't know what the right. What I did learn is the wrong thing to do is to keep going. It's awkward for both parties involved. So.